Hey guys, and welcome back to Art with Mo. My name is Monique, and today we are going to be doing a Draw This in Your Style, and this one is by Maddie Bryson on Instagram. I will leave her link down below if you'd like to check her out. She created this character, and I thought it was very lovely. I love the color scheme that she used, and I also really enjoyed the style that Maddie has, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, draw this in your style. I also wanted to work on incorporating my realistic style to a more not so cartoony but more stylish style. So here we are. I have already done the sketch and I've also filled in the character. I wanted to go into a grayscale first just to make sure that I got my values correct, because Maddie's character is actually blue and I didn't want the blue tones to mess me up. So that's why it is in grayscale. I started off with adding in flat colors, and right now I am just adding in some of those highlights and those shadows. I'm using the reference on the left for the pose and the hair and the facial expression. So I hope you guys are enjoying this little screen recording. I know that I normally use a camera and you guys are able to see my hands, but I kind of decided to record this a little last minute. So I hope you enjoy this video. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit more about my process. I wanted her to really have kind of like a sad emotion, and that's one of the reasons I chose the person on the left, because she's not smiling but she's not like super sad either. I also liked the way that her hair looked and her pose. Her pose is pretty close to the original that Maddie Bryson had on her Instagram page, so I decided to kind of use the same thing that she did. Alright, so as we are getting into her hair, I decided to use the short hairbrush that is already installed in Procreate. I wanted to use the hairbrush because I wanted to get those really good hair strokes that you see on a regular person. So I decided to use that brush, and I'm just going in with a base color. And I'm going in with the base color, and then I'll work my way up to the lighter tones. I feel like using the hairbrush helped me loosen up a little bit, because normally I use a flat brush, and the flat brush, it looks good, but it gives the bottom of the hair really sharp edges, and really throughout the whole form of the hair it has sharp edges, and I really wanted her hair to be soft. So I'm using this brush and I'm going in with a darker color now and adding in some of those shadows and just placing them where I see them in the reference. And I am color picking just to make sure that my values are as close as possible. And I'm going to be using this brush for the entire hair process. And I also end up using the brush for her little strayaways that she has. I'm also going to use that short hair brush for her eyebrows so that they look nice and smooth and they are flowy. So I started out with a dark color and then I just worked my way up to the lighter tones. And then I'm also using the same brush to blend her skin into her eyebrows so that it's not so bold and the eyebrows don't look like they're out of place. Alright, so now I have brought in Maddie Bryson's picture to the left in my little reference box, and I plan on color picking this to make sure that my colors are the same as hers. And I'm going to start off with the background and just do some lines there and fill it in, and then I'm using the Gaussian blur to blend it all out and blend it together. And I'm copying my hair layers and merging them together so that when I go ahead and color it, it will be all the same, but the values will stay the way that they're supposed to. And right now it's on the overlay layer, so then that way I just add the color and everything else just stays the same. And I did the exact same thing with the skin, and now I'm just trying to blend out her shoulders and her chest because her chest is a little dark, but I end up fixing that in just a second with a different color, and then it's all good. And if you guys have been liking this video so far, make sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to see or what you would like me to do, what you liked in this video, and also subscribe because it doesn't cost anything to you, but for me it's very much appreciated and it lets me know that you're actually liking my content. So right here, I noticed that her left eye was a little bit out of place. So I flipped the canvas and I selected almost all of her skin layers, and then I used the liquefying tool to fix her eyes and just to make sure that they're the same shape because I felt like her left eye was a little bit too small and it was really just out of place. It wasn't really lined up with her right eye like it should have been. So after that, I just flipped the canvas back, just making sure that it looked correct. Alright, so after I made a few corrections, I added the color back to her hair and to her skin. And then I started working on the circle or the dome that's around her head. I put in a blue tone just to fill it in. And then after that, I used a brush that was already installed in Procreate that looked very similar to the one that Maddie Bryson had used. And I also forgot that I hadn't added any tears to her face, so I turned the color off and I added those tears to my very first layer that I had started on working with. And I added in the tears and a little bit of highlights to bring them to life. And then also worked on the lips a little bit because in the middle it wasn't quite dark enough. And I added in some more highlights to her skin just to make it pop a little bit more than what it already was. And one of the last things that I needed to add to make sure that this character was finished and all of the character elements were incorporated were the words happy. And so I just wrote that on her chest. I ended up duplicating the layer and locking the top layer and then coloring it purple, and then the bottom layer was like a yellowish orange, and then I just offset it so that it was as if, you know, the words were really popping out of her chest. I also wanted to change the color of her tube top, so I made it purple. Alright, so now I have actually just added a few touches to her hair and to her eyebrows and making sure everything's looking how I want it to. And I think that it looks really, really good and I'm happy with it. And here I'm just adding in some little strands to her hair so that it looks like it's really coming to life. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and like, and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.